Hey guys, F1-26 here, and we're here once again for highlights of the F1 League. And after the last race in Singapore made me literally want to kill myself, I hope to have some better fortunes here in Malaysia for round 16. This is a track that I quite like, and as you will know if you've been subscribed for quite a while, I won round here in AOR Season 11 GP2. So coming into turn 1, putting it down into first gear to slow the car down that little bit more and nailing the curve for turn 2 there. So that's quite a good start to the lap there, pretty solid as we head down this curve turn 3 towards the sector split for sector 1 and turn 4. And as you can see, we're actually not purple, but that doesn't bother me because sector 1 is my weakest sector, taking maybe a bit too much curb on turn 4 there. But now we come to this section which I really enjoy. Turn 5 nice and flat, 2 downshifts for turn 6. Maybe we could have taken a bit more curb through there. Turn 7 and 8 now, down into 4th. We missed the apex for the first part, but that opens up the second part very nicely for us to get a good run down this little short straight towards the hairpin of turn 9. Down into first gear once again to get the car rotated and short shift up to second on the exit. Rev the car out as this difficult right hand kink. Very easy to lose the back end, and we have gone purple to sector 2 as we head through that right hander, third gear through there. Now coming down towards this left-hander, absolutely flat out before we head into the penultimate corner. Very difficult corner to spot your braking point and not lock up. We rev it out in second to get the car turned in. Probably not the optimal line through there, but it seemed to work out reasonably well. CK the Flying Scot has put in a decent lap as we head down towards the final corner. 8th gear, braking down once again briefly into first, back up to second, making the apex very nicely. Try and straighten out the steering as quickly as possible on the DRS, straight run to the line. And what is the lap time going to be? It is a 1 minute 34.434, which puts us on provisional pole. So that was our first run, and now we're heading back out for our second lap of the session here. Coming into the final corner once again, taking the wide entry, trying to secure those quality points as CK puts an absolute banger of a 34.2. So we do need to improve if we want to get pole. By the way, Luke the Silent Mole is not racing this week because he was watching a Plymouth Argyle game or something. So coming down into turn 1, we go very deep, but that's going to give us a much better line for the exit of turn 1 to swing it in nicely into turn 2. Absolutely nailing that on the power as early as possible. CK gets out of the way there, and as you can see, we are a 10th up, so we're well on course to be beating CK's time and putting it on provisional pole once again. We go green to sector 1, not quite faster than CK, but we know we can gain all our time in the middle and last sector as we head once again through this fast left-hander, flat out, trying to keep it closer to the curb this time for the right, which we do very nicely, taking a bit more speed through there. Can we hit the apex for the first part of this one? Yes, we can. So we've taken quite a lot of speed through there, running out wide to the curb, stepping both apexes nicely. So as you can see, we're almost 3 tenths up on our delta. So this is looking very good as we once again nail that corner. Bit of oversteer on the exit, but as you can see, we are now purple by over a tenth to CK. So unless we bottle this last sector, which we almost did there, we've lost a bit of time. But it shouldn't be too much. But as you can see, the delta is decreasing, so we need to really nail these last 2 corners. Coming into the penultimate corner now, down into second gear once again, maybe taking a slightly more optimal line there, but a bit of oversteer on the exit, which is going to cost us. As you can see, the delta is once again slightly decreasing as we head towards the final corner. We nailed this last time. Can we nail it again? Spamming down the gears into first gear, back up to second. We've run a bit wide on the exit. That's going to cost us straight line speed as we head up to the line. The delta is decreasing. We are going to improve, but it's not going to be enough. And we have actually set exactly the same time as our first lap, a 1 minute 34.434 here in Malaysia, and it's not going to be enough. And I disconnected, so there you can see the results on screen. Quite annoying, really. Pause it if you want to have a look. Casey managed to start on the mediums and make 1 less stop because of rain and wind. Grumpy Lion did the same thing and came second, and due to other questionable strategies, Sinan or Gaston Zinka managed to come third. So let's move on to Japan now. So that poor result in Malaysia through no fault of my own means that we now have a lot of work to do if we want to win the championship. So in Japan, as you can see, well, you can't see because my camera work is so shit, but we're currently sitting on pole. And we're going once again to try and improve our lap time to see if we can secure that pole position. Luke once again is not racing this weekend. I can't remember why. This Wednesday. Coming through turn 1, getting the gears down into second gear, back up to third, and we've absolutely nailed that. The first sector was a bit poor on our first run, so let's see if we can get that better. Flat out through there, down to third, briefly back up to fourth for the right, and then down to fourth once again for this left. down to third and up to fourth for the right. There's a car sitting there as we head through Dunlop Curve now. Absolutely flat if you get the line right, which we have done. And as you can see, we are a sizable amount up on our delta, and this is looking to be an absolute banger. Down to fifth for Degner 1 and down to second even for Degner 2. Getting quite good lines through there as we now head up to this horrible hairpin. Can we get it right? Down into first gear, hit the apex, get the car rotated on the power nicely on the exit, and we've done that very well, and this has been a basically perfect lap so far. Obviously not for everyone's standards, but for my standards this has been a very good lap as we head down to the infamous spoon curve, down into fourth for the first part, run it out wide on the curb, and then down to third for the second part. But because we're a bottle job, we've missed the apex and we've lost about a tenth and a half there, so GG. Well, we're still up, so we're still on here for an absolute banger as we head down the straight towards 130. Are not particularly scary on this game, completely flat out with no issues. Purple through the middle sector, although not actually the best middle sector due to the fact that we bottled spoon. Coming now into the Casio triangle, we missed the apex slightly, but we managed to get a good run through the second part. Over the bump here, we navigate that nicely, and it's flat out on the run to the line, and there we go. So we have got pole in the bag, and we're going to retire from that because we don't have any more tyres. But is that going to be enough? And yes, as you can see, we have claimed it, a 1 minute 33.8, our first pole ever in this league, and we've got pole by 6/10 to Casey Legend, because basically everyone decided they couldn't be asked to qualify to take advantage of the tyre glitch, which is slightly annoying, but I'm going to claim this pole, and I'm going to claim the 3 points that come with it. So hopefully if we get a good result here, we can manage to get ahead of Sinan and Casey in the championship, which we now come to the grid. And let's see what... Oh, yeah, that's a great strategy game. So, despite the fact that the game thinks I need to make 3 stops, I can inform you that I don't. I'll be going soft, hard, medium, and that should get me nicely to the end from my practice that I did, because I was quite sweaty, because I needed it to get back in the championship. So, let's go to the race then, where we are starting on pole for the first time ever in this league. Not my first pole ever in league racing, but it's been... not great for me in qualifying in the F1 League normally, so it'll be quite different to be starting right at the front here. My highest previous starting position is third, so here we go. For the formation lap, we'll be leading the field then, as we lead off Casey Legend and CK the Flying Scot, who's on the medium, so maybe he's trying to do the 1-stop. I know that is a possible strategy, but I think the 2-stop is faster and much less risky in terms of getting a puncture. That's just my opinion though, so I think CK and I think Warden, also qualified on the mediums, will be trying to do that 1-stop. So as you can see, leading the pack away now, just warming our tyres as we now skip to the end of the lap, and we've got Casey Legend maybe playing some mind games with us. He's seen my pace in qualifying, and he's trying to unsettle us before the start of the race, as we're going to go side by side through the final chicane, and now the game decides to take over and drive us up to the grid, which we shall take onto nicely, as there's some cars who've been naughty there, so that's not very good. There's a lot of them actually, that's quite bad. Hamilton fan there, no surprises, but Casey Legend and myself pulling up into the grid spots that we are in first and second respectively for a James 1-2, and we will be heading the field towards turn 1 as we're now waiting for everyone to form up and the lights to come on for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix, which, as you can see, they should be coming on now. We have the lights, we have 2 lights, now they're 3, 4 lights now, and it's 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. We've got a reasonable start, not too much wheel spin there, up into 4th quickly, and we've left everyone for dead, and we should be able to take our line through turn 1, and that is us done. We're through with yellow flags for some reason, not particularly sure why. CK's absolutely bossed Casey Legend around the outside, but we're away, we're in the lead, and this is now our race to run away with, and to try and get a gap to the 1-stoppers in the first stint. Hopefully we can manage that, and then we should be able to take this race comfortably, because there's no safety car, so unless we bottle it, this is basically what we have to do now. Just keep it on the track. Very easy to make mistakes around this track. Possibly one of the most difficult tracks on the calendar. I would say the most difficult circuit, which is not a street circuit. So coming to the end of lap 2 even, fastest lap in the race, and there's a yellow flag because that's Kevin Magnussen's AI just chilling on the pit straight for no reason whatsoever. So that's pretty dangerous. Skipping on to lap 6 now. As you can see, nothing has happened. We're making our pit stop this lap. CK has managed to stay ahead of Casey Legend, and we've got quite a sizable gap, 3 seconds. And that's quite a comfortable gap as we head into the Casio Triangle, just to head into the pit lane for our first... Oh, and it's happened again. We've disconnected once again for the second race in a row, and that was more devastating than Malaysia. I felt I had that race in the bag, We did manage to get back in, but it was lap 24 and we were miles behind. So we set fastest lap briefly before it got beaten by CK, who made a late pit stop. But it's quite unfortunate. I was pretty annoyed with that because I felt that I would have won that race. As you can see, Warden did a fantastic one-stop to win the race with CK in second and Casey in third. Lion took a good fourth with Sinan in fifth. So this means the championship is pretty much out of reach unless I literally win every race, which is going to be very difficult with the Silent Mole coming back. I literally had to win those 2 races. Those were the 2 crucial races, and I've unfortunately disconnected from both of them. But I won't give up. There's still a small chance, so I'll see you whenever I can be bothered to upload, which will hopefully be soon for USA, around one of my least favourite tracks, but hopefully we can make a good race of it. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.